If you feel like you can't move forward in life because every move you make, you just get knocked down, understand that you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to share with you 6 different ideas that might be the reason why you're holding yourself back, and it could be that if you could just change one of these, you're going to see your life change dramatically. If you're new to the channel, my name is Bennett. I'm here to share some ideas that have helped me move the needle just a little bit in my own personal life, and I hope you find them beneficial. For a nice chunk of my life, I found myself getting stuck and not being able to move forward, and these are different ideas that I've picked up along the way. And the first thing that really held me back was the idea that I kept thinking about what other people thought about me. I knew I was a people pleaser, but yet for some reason I just couldn't get them out of my head. Whether it were certain decisions that I was going to be making or certain decisions that I was not going to be making just because I thought other people cared. Some of those people I happened to be very close with and I really cared about their opinion, and others I felt peer pressure to do certain things. And I realized that if I keep living everybody else's life, then I'm not going to be living the one person's life that matters the most. And I think for so many people, they struggle because they care so much about what other people think about them. But at the end of the day, everyone is going to have a different perspective about who you are and what you are to them. And what's interesting is that if we could understand that, nobody's version of you is going to be the same. And if you're going to be this chameleon, always trying to change and please other people, you're never going to be able to have the ability to do what it is that you want to be doing. What's really happening is that they're just taking a remote control and controlling you because you have to think this way or to take certain actions. And the hardest part is when somebody really cares about you. They want the best for you and think that you should be doing X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, it's going to be your decision. And I think that's where the guilt comes in, because we want to be able to listen to these people because maybe we've listened to them our whole lives and have gotten their opinion. But understanding that at the end of the day, it's our life to live, we have to live with our decisions. And this is one of the things that my first mentor did for me. You see, I used to ask him questions all the time, and instead of giving me straight up answers, he used to bring out the answer in me. And sometimes I was so frustrated because I wanted to know his opinion on the matter. And nevertheless, he never told me what he thought because he realized that it's my decision to make. He helped guide me through those decisions, but wanted me to make a decision. And at the end of the day, it was so incredible because if I would have made a decision and only had done it because of him, and the decision didn't go out well, I was only going to have one person to blame, and that was him. And he realized that if I need to be growing and learning, I need to be answering those questions myself. It's one of those things that coaching brings out that is so powerful. And if you have somebody who could help you bring that out of yourself, that could be something that could be such a guiding light. The second thing I realized was holding me back is that I kept beating myself up. You see, every time I didn't succeed at something, I took it so hard on myself. Whether I was in high school and I didn't do well on a test, or as I got older and I had business ideas and I wasn't able to succeed at them. As somebody who was not able to move forward, I realized I was beating myself up. But the problem wasn't just the fact that I was pulling myself down, but it was I was killing my self-esteem. You see, when it comes to self-esteem, if we could do the things that we say we're supposed to be doing, we can really build ourselves up. But the more times we consider ourselves as a failure, all that's going to do is just destroy our confidence and our own self-worth. Recognizing that if we want to be able to do certain things in our life, we have to feel a certain way. Our emotions are real. And if we keep beating ourselves up, all that's going to happen is we're going to constantly be proving to ourselves that we can't do X, Y, and Z. What we have to realize is we have to stop and flip the switch. We have to be realistic because sometimes we do need to change and sometimes we do need a kick in the back. But understand that if we want to really be able to do certain things, if we're being so negative about everything that happens, we're never giving ourselves a shot. And to be honest, so many more times we're being more harsh than we really need to be. The way that I like to frame it is, how would I react to my child who did something wrong or who didn't succeed at something? Sometimes they're going to need to get a push, but the other times we have to build our confidence to tell them that they should continue trying and keep moving forward. We all know that success is not going to be easy, and if we don't succeed at something, it doesn't mean we're a failure. It just means we got great feedback. And speaking about feedback, if you have found this video at all helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. The third idea that happens with so many people when they're not able to move forward is that they've gotten burnt in one area of their life, and then they feel entitled to not do something again, to not try again because they've done it already. And what's interesting is that it's really a feeling of entitlement, that they think that they've tried X, Y, and Z and they put in all their effort and they haven't succeeded, so it must be something wrong with the system and not something that they can start to change. And all that's really happening internally is our egos are telling us, hey buddy, you tried this thing, you've gotten hurt, I don't want you to get hurt anymore, so might as well let's make an excuse and not move forward. And what's interesting about this is that so many times people end up self-sabotaging themselves because they realize how hard something's going to be and there is a chance of failure. But what we have to realize is that the only way to continue forward and to build our confidence is by taking that action, is to get that courage to move forward and in spite of the fear, do what is necessary. For so many people, they hold themselves back because they've been burnt in the past. But what's interesting is that they let that thing that they already messed up at burn them 2 times. Once in the past when it happened, and the second time in the present when they're trying to move forward. Don't let those things burn you 2 times and allow yourself to move forward. The fourth idea has happened to me in different time periods throughout my life, and I realized that if I didn't have enough clarity in terms of where it is that I was going, I wasn't going to be able to take that action. Even if I had big ideas in terms of the direction that I wanted to go, but if I wasn't being focused on terms of what it is that was needed every single day, I would find myself procrastinating because I didn't know what was necessary. And what was interesting is that the more I was able to really create a schedule for myself, the more action I was able to take. And so much of it is just the preparation. And if you're the type of person where you don't even know where to start, even just educating yourself and learning about what steps are necessary, that could be the first place. So many people get so scared to take the action and they don't even know what action to take, but recognizing that any action is better than no action. And one action is going to breed another action and another and another and another. And that's where we need to start to be. So understanding that if you could start to move forward and get that clarity, that could be something that could be helpful. Listening to podcasts from other people who've been there and speaking to people even better for those who have succeeded in the direction that you want could be something that could be so helpful. The fifth idea is something that happens a lot of times when people don't see the success. They think that it's going to be greener on the other side. They think that other people have it easier than they do. But you have to understand that wherever anybody is, in order for them to grow, they need to be doing something and pushing themselves. You see, there's this mindset that a lot of people have that is, once I'm able to do X, Y, and Z, then I'm done, then I'm finished. But what we have to realize is that we're on a downwards escalator. If we're not moving forward, we're moving down. We all have the ability to constantly be doing such amazing things in our lives, but if we don't take the action moving forward every single day, all that's going to happen, we're going to be slowly falling. If you can start to recognize that, you know what, other people's stuff is other people's stuff and that has nothing to do with me. All I have to do is focus on what I have to focus on. That's going to give us the concentration to be able to move forward. How many times do we hear about some guy who we know has been successful, or we see somebody's social media profile and we see, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're doing well. First of all, you don't even know if it's true. And second of all, it doesn't affect you at all. If you're not going to use it as something to inspire you to take the action, then it's not beneficial at all. Understanding this can be so key when it comes to our own personal growth, because so many times we're looking at what other people are doing and we think that they have it easier, and therefore we give ourselves an escape in terms of what it is necessary to become that successful. Stop thinking it's greener on your other side. Start watering your own grass and make it greener on your side. And the sixth idea that so many people mess up on, and this is something that happened to me when I was in my 20s. You see, I wanted to become successful already. I wanted to be able to do certain things and see certain successes in my life financially, in my relationships, and I kept trying to rush it. But once I realized how patient I have to be in order to become successful, first of all, I took the pressure off of my back and allowed myself to just relax and be able to slowly take the action that was necessary. And number two is I wasn't rushing myself and forcing myself out of the lane. You see, for so many people, they want to see success, and it's amazing that they want to be able to see that success. But what you have to realize is that if you are not patient, you're not going to be able to see it. You are not going to be able to achieve it. Because even if you do get that success so quickly, what you have to understand is that there's so many skills along the way that you are not going to be able to have. And if you don't realize that, all that's going to happen, you're going to be able to have all of this stuff, but not have the foundation that is necessary to keep it. And how many people won the lottery and got all the money in the world, and then 6 months later, they're broke? And for people who've never been in that position, we can't even imagine what's going on there. But recognizing that if you don't have the solid foundation, you're not going to be able to keep it. Understanding the principles, understanding that it's going to be the long game, be in the moment today, that's going to be something that can be so helpful in terms of your own growth and your own success. And if you're somebody who feels like you can't move forward and yet you want to feel more likable, make sure to take a look at this next video where I talk about just that.